Thank you, Olli, for this introduction. Dr. Olli and I go back a long way, and we have been cooperating in many fields, including the basketball court. But, Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and dear friends, whether we acknowledge it or not, and even if we are not aware of it, history is always present with us, influencing and guiding our actions. Unfortunately, we are living in times when ignorance of history is growing rather than diminishing, with less understanding and knowledge of from where and how we have arrived at where we are today. Living with history is not always easy, and history is the cause of many past, ongoing, and undoubtedly also future conflicts. This raises the question, would it not be better to engage in collective amnesia and leave history to be actively repressed, buried, and forgotten, as has been seriously suggested as a remedy for avoiding the rancor and resentment historical memories create and uphold, and thus eliminating the conflicts and wars it can lead to. The negative role that history can play is true enough, but it would be wrong to conclude that the solution is forgetting. Attempts to forget and bury your and your neighbor's history is a good recipe for creating zombies. The events, narratives, and arguments you think that you have left behind you can, unless properly and openly addressed, return to haunt you. Ignorance of history or forgetting it does not make it disappear or harmless or do away with how it is used to fuel conflicts. On the contrary, ignorance leaves the door open to the many ways of abusing history, the theme of our conference. With all too many examples of the misuse and direct abuse of history in conflict, the time has come to ask what historians themselves can do not only to prevent this misuse, but to put their knowledge and experience to positive work in the service of conflict prevention, resolution, and mediation. And this work does not finish when a peace agreement is signed. Neglect of post-conflict aftercare leads easily to renewal of the conflict. And aftercare also entails writing the history of the conflict in a way which meets the approval of all parties to it. We can well imagine how challenging this is, for example, in writing a common history for Cyprus, not to mention how to write Middle East history if and when a lasting peace can be made between Israel and Palestine. This will be difficult enough to put into practice, and we have great expectations on you all to give us input and guidance on how to take our initiative forward. Dear friends, the 5 keynote sessions of our conference will give us input, views, and ideas for our initiative on which the concluding session tomorrow will take a decision. In addition to the plenaries, we will have today and tomorrow 7 separate workshops on issues which are related to actual or potential conflicts and are therefore controversial in varying degrees. We expect that they will be addressed in a constructive, non-confrontational manner. We do not seek to establish the rights, wrongs, or truths in any of them, and we do not expect the workshops to solve them. What we do expect is that the reports from the workshops will identify problems and issues which Historians Without Borders could help resolve and offer practical proposals on how to continue working on them. Every time historians meet, it is by definition a historical occasion. We, however, expect and want this conference to be more than that in this obvious sense. We hope that this conference will agree on starting a process with the founding of the International Network of Historians Without Borders. This was and is our ambition when we founded the Historians Without Borders in Finland last June. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to call on the first speaker of the conference, President Martti Ahtisaari. President Ahtisaari has a long history of successful work on conflict resolution and mediation, both prior to his presidency, when he was working for the Foreign Ministry and the United Nations, during his presidency in 1994 to 2000, and afterwards when he established the Crisis Management Initiative, and he has deservedly received the Nobel Peace Prize for his work. We are very happy to have you here, President Ahtisaari, today. I recall from my days as foreign minister, which entailed quite a lot of traveling, that I never managed to have the same amount of travel days as you continuously had and continue to have. So we are very happy that you could fit this date into your calendar, as you did last June when you also addressed the founding meeting of Historians Without Borders in Finland. You have the floor, please.